Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus.
On the other side of the break, you saw Smith and Roundtree. They feature in our main card. That is under an hour away. Time now for flyweights. Refusing to let any opponent hear the final horn on the way to the Road to UFC flyweight tournament title, Sewison Park will look to keep that finishing streak going against Australia's Shannon Ross. Shannon Ross's gutsy effort on Season 6 of Dana White's Contender Series proved that they don't come any tougher than the Turkish Delight. But tonight, the Aussie flyweight is only thinking about winning, and he'll pull out all the stops, look at his hand raised, against Sewison Park. Perfect in 8 pro fights, South Korea's Sewison Park tore through the Road to UFC tournament with 3 finishes of Jeremiah Sidigar, Top Kilram, and Sukuk Choi. And now he is a member of the UFC roster and ready to tackle the best 125-pounders in the world. Coming up next, Sewison Peace of Mind Park squares off against Shannon, the Turkish Delight Ross.
Shannon Ross got incredibly emotional yesterday when I asked him where his positive attitude comes from. He told me he's just incredibly grateful to be here. He's been through so much in his life and overcome it. And you know what? He said, we have a choice to be happy, and it's one that he consciously forces himself to make every single day. You know, he told me that he's hit a little bit of a rough patch and that he's allowed the hype and responsibility that comes with being in the UFC to mess with him. The idea that somehow now that he's here, he had to change. This fight, he's back to what got him here. His old mantra, screw it, it's just a fight. You know, he plays particular attention to visualization, especially in the early goings of this one, and believes he can get right back on track. And either way, guys, he's just incredibly grateful to be here. Great attitude.
Absolutely, yeah, very commendable. Good guy to be in the company of. Super positive. But let's get right to it, shall we, Nora? Because it hasn't been the greatest showing for him, and he wants to make this year end on a high note. And he has made some significant changes in the way that he approaches his training, which he's hoping it will be fruitful to this.
Yeah, the reality is that, things have not gone to plan for him in the UFC yet, but I'm telling you guys, I did the research before he fought on Contender Series. I have seen what this man is capable of. He's got power in his hands. When he puts it all together, he absolutely has what it takes to be in the UFC and to do well here. It's a matter of making all of those pieces fit together in the moment. Tonight, this is such an important spot for him against a very dangerous opponent.
Well, here walks Sewison Peace of Mind Park. He is the graduate of the Road to UFC tournament flyweight division, and he's looking super chill as he walks through to the octagon tonight, Paul. That was something I noted in the media articles. He's got that. Well, it wasn't really a UFC debut, was it? It was the tournament finale. But now he's got that out of the way in this very building. He can double down on those performances. 8-0. coming through something like that tournament. We've got to know him a little bit, but now's the time for him to really show what he can do and make a big splash at the 145.
Yeah, and that's something that he can do is pretty much anything inside of the cage because he's so well-rounded. He's shown that he's got knockout ability. He's shown that he's got toughness and durability to overcome when he does get hit and hurt with shots. He's shown that he's got the grappling ability to wrestle, to take down, and submit people on the ground. When somebody like Young Sung Park comes in here tonight, he should have all of the confidence in the world and walk out here with a swagger, because to come through the road to UFC show like he did, to win it and go on that run that he's had, the man belongs to be here for a reason. He's had to work damn hard to get this opportunity. Kid's very well-rounded and very fun to watch.
He's very well-rounded, and not only is he, he's on a 7-fight finish streak. I mean, it's incredible to see his ability to sense the finish coming, but he has faced adversity in all 3 of his last fights. He's been knocked down, so it's not necessarily that he has flawless performances. There are holes here that Shannon Ross could potentially take advantage of, but so far, Young Sung Park, he has the peace of mind of being undefeated.
All right, let's put these flyweights side by side. There is 7 years difference in their age. Park is an inch shorter. Their reaches are identical, and Sung Park is the nice favourite on the betting lines. Which the fighters, here is Joe.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go on the next fight tonight. 3 rounds in the UFC flyweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, a freestyle fighter standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at the flyweight limit 126 pounds in 21 fights. His record stands at 13 victories with 8 defeats. Fighting out of Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia. Here is the Turkish delight, Shannon Ross. And across the octagon, his opponent fighting out of the red corner. At 5 feet 7 inches tall, this mixed martial artist also weighed in 126 pounds. In 8 professional fights, he stands perfect with 8 victories and no defeats. He is the road to UFC flyweight tournament winner from Gyeonggi-do, South Korea. The undefeated Peace of Mind, Young Sung Park. And your referee in charge of the action is Keith Peterson.
Octagon official for this one, Keith Peterson. Flyweight pairing with Shannon Ross and Young Sung Park. Ross looking to get that feeling of having his arm raised in the octagon. Young Sung Park, UFC tournaments. He is yet to taste defeat. They touch him up. Now, I'm not sure if this is bad translation, but Park said that he thinks Shannon Ross has an outdated style. He's looking to expose that tonight. He's getting to action fast.
Yeah, Shannon Ross was anticipating. Shannon Ross was anticipating a fast start.
First one that's gone below deck tonight, I think. Ross shakes it off. Straight back to action.
Normally I'm keeping a closer count.
Sharp with pencil forward. So Ross accumulated a lot of strength and conditioning from his workouts this camp. It allowed him more time to be technical, and he's hoping that he certainly feels better coming into this fight. He's hoping it'll pay dividends. He's fighting the oscillators though there, and he gets dropped early.
Got clipped on the temple there from Park. Oh, beautiful elbow off the break there from Park.
He's got to clinch up and try to clear these cobwebs, so Shannon, if he's going to continue. Park's so good at sensing these finishes and not rushing them.
Yeah, you're right. He's patient, keeping the pressure on, staying in his face. Ooh, clash of shins there for both guys throwing kicks. Watch your fingers.
Nice work by Ross. Park is susceptible to getting hits. We did see that through the Pro UFC tournaments.
There does seem to be a power difference, though. When Park is landing, it seems more significant. Because Ross is landing, just doesn't seem to be affecting him as much.
Well, it is worrisome for Ross to have had so many knockouts in succession in the past year. But I'm telling you, man, when he gets going, and like I said, that regional footage, when he gets going, he's got some good stuff. When he's on the skates, right? Oh man!
This is trouble. This is trouble.
Nice work there from Park to keep his arms alive. Look for him to do damage in these positions. Here's a good grappler. We have seen him before submissions. He just steps over looking for the back. But actually, no. One content to
There you go.
use the elbows.
Park's fully on the back now. I'm sorry, Paul. Yeah.
Oh, good MMA game being shown by Hyung-Sung Park. Taking his time now, 2 minutes and 15 seconds to work.
At this point, Ross has to fight not just the potential choke, but the body triangle as well. He's going to try to get the lock to this side. This is a good progress for Shannon Ross, but
Park's got 4 rear naked choke finishes to his record, so this is urgent for Ross to escape this position. But Park, just with that body triangle, just cinching him in. Not letting him go anywhere. He's on the neck, or he's on the chin, but whoa, it's so exhausting to have that cinched around your waist like that.
Yeah, that's a tight body lock. But the fact that it's open here allows Ross to attack the lock to try and undo it, rather than sitting on it and being locked in for good. But I think he's more aware of the choking arms, which he should be.
yeah, exactly. You have to guard against the choke primarily, but you have to fight the body triangle as well. Like you said, it's so uncomfortable to have that right across your diaphragm if you're trying to make these big movements.
Just can't get a breath, can't get a full breath of air, and you're already exhausted. Your heart rate is already through the roof. You're feeling the pressure, you're looking up at these lights. It's just such a stressful situation. This is trouble.
Yeah, that's good work from Park.
It's on the chin, but Shannon Ross,
See how strong he is, even in that position where it was not fully locked in at all, with one arm basically around Ross, and you saw how he was struggling in that position.
Also, many different ways to defend the choke. But Ross at the moment is trying to push the elbow over the chin door rather than attack the choking arm.
He's just got to try to get out of this round. He's got 30 seconds left to try to avoid this choke from Mark.
What up, Zach?
Mark also glancing up at the clock, knows how much time is left, which means he knows how to either lay it on or just go, okay, all right, I'm going to save my energy. I dominated this round. Come out in the second round and get the finish.
Cracking on the face of Ross is Park. Last few seconds in this opening round. Looks like Ross has survived well.
Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus.
Strong first round from Hyun-Sung Park, that elbow there, but it was this power jab that actually knocked Shannon Ross down and led to him having his back taken and really, the rest of the round just in a bad spot.
Just going to keep an eye on the right foot of Park. He was shaking it out there just before they engaged. But Shannon Ross is cornering and drawing him to get his striking going. Little blitz there from the Australian.
Well, Paul was talking to me, during the break. It could be the blood in the legs of Park from that body triangle that he was sort of shaking out as well.
Yeah, it was a chin on chin earlier in the fight. That was that right leg because both guys threw their rear kick and clashed. So And a lot of times it's not the shin. What happens when you throw a kick wrong or clash in is the ankle kind of whips weirdly and almost dislocates from itself a bit. You know what I mean? That used to happen all the time.
I feel like your foot kind of whips around and it feels like it pulls it apart a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
I needed that.
Good on it for a while. And then on top of that,
Nicely counter by Park. Got through. Patient work from the South Korea prospect.
We want the best outsider.
Very physically strong as well. He spent a lot of time on his conditioning for this contest, but his hands are looking very sharp indeed. He was at Mantau in the spring. He's been visiting a bunch of other gyms in South Korea. Ross scoring behind that jab, Laura.
Yeah, I was going to say, Park being much more aggressive in this fight than he was able to be against Sang-Gook Choi in his last fight, which I think is, it's really doing him justice.
Park doing a great job with these calf kicks, I can tell you that. They're taking it back, especially since Park is maybe slightly compromised. We don't know why, not officially, on that right leg, but to chip away at that lead leg, then you've got 2 bone wheels in there, and that's not good.
That's a nice right. The only thing, not far from me to be the one commenting on this, but every time he's thrown at that kick, he's got the counter with a big shot from Park. I think he's looking for it. Nice jab there. And a good right from Ross. We're starting to see him come into this fight. He's been in these tough situations before.
Little throwback to the GSP Superman jab, the leg kick there from Shannon Ross. But still, when the punches are exchanged, Park is just landing significantly heavier, guys.
He's just got a really good vocabulary of strikes as well, hasn't he, Laura?
That's a really beautiful way to put it, John. He does. It's like he can select the perfect one for the moment so quickly as well. The jab is always on point. He's just pressuring Ross very intelligently here and chipping away at him.
Here's that chin on chin, guys. Yeah, it's right on his ankle.
You're right. They're exactly right, Paul.
We got a good team. We got a good team, guys.
Good eyes.
Niner's over here. He did see it. I'm going to give credit to Niner. We had a nice little conversation while these guys were in the corner. We seen it. But it seems like Park has recovered from it. But again, this is a much better round for Shannon Ross. Landing good shots.
Absolutely. He's putting things together. He had got a body shot, though. He looks like he's protecting his head.
Oh, speaking of body shots,
What a combination from Park. The trapdoor is opening for Ross. It is a big win here for Park in Vegas. Shot selection was absolutely on point.
Absolutely on point, and that is 8 finishes in a row for Young-Sung Park. Unbelievable.
yeah, especially just as we're saying that Shannon Ross was having a very good round, Young-Sung Park comes back strong. Ooh, did that guy clench right off the liver. He saw it. He knew that he was a bit hurt here. He lays on the pressure. Big liver shot again. Look at that. The diversity of strikes, the levels of strikes. Just a beautiful performance from Young-Sung Park. Another look here. Bink right on that liver, man. Oh, and again.
That one didn't tickle. That last one did not tickle.
He knew. He knew.
I mean, what awareness to find that. Is it 3 times? That is great stuff. All right, short break coming up before we make this one official here in Las Vegas.
Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus.
Tuesdays catch up on all the latest MMA talk for DC and RC as Daniel Cormier, trades barbs with Super Bowl champ Ryan Clark. You can find the show on YouTube, ESPN Plus, and at midnight Eastern on ESPN2. Time to make this one official. Here's Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially 3 minutes, 59 seconds, round number 2. Referee Keith Peterson stops his fight. Your winner by TKO and still undefeated, Young Song. Peace of mind, Park.
I'm here with the winner and still undefeated, Young Sung Park. Congratulations on a beautiful performance. Now, one thing I want to clear up, it looked like between rounds that he was favoring his right ankle. It seemed like maybe there was a clash of shins. Was that bothering him going into the second round?
1라운드가 끝나고 충격이 있어서 킥에서 그래서 조금 문제가 있었나요?
아니요. 문제가 있었기보다는 제가 좀 사실 변명인데 컨디션이 너무 안 좋아서 많이 움직일 수가 없었어요. 그래서 1라운드 때 백 잡았을 때 좀 욕심을 많이 냈는데 컨디션도 안 좋은 상황에서 욕심까지 내니까 좀 잘 안 움직이더라고요. 그래서 2라운드 좀 천천히 가자 했는데 뭐 그렇게 되었습니다. 너무 잘 못해서 죄송합니다.
My leg was fine. It's not an excuse, but my conditioning was off. So I was taking it slow. Even when I had it back in the second round, I just try to take it slow, take my time.
It's interesting you say that because you look like you were laying on the pressure, landing beautiful combos. Now, in that round, when you hurt him, it started with that front kick to the body. You can take a look at the screen, caught him right on the liver. Did he know that he had hurt him badly when he went in for that finish?
저 바디킥으로 한 대 맞고 저 아파했을 때 그때 그걸 알아요.
데미지가 간 거는 알고 있었는데 저 바디킥을 연습한 거나 그런 건 아니고 그냥 본능적으로 나온 거 같아요. 근데 상대가 데미지 너무 알아서 운이 주고 많이 주고 이렇게 하니까 상대가 쓰러진 것 같습니다. 좀 운이 좋았어요.
Definitely tough early in the season.
I was lucky tonight. That was just instinct. And it hit him, and the damage was there, and just instinct.
Well, for a lucky guy, you're 9-0, undefeated, coming in here, having won the road to UFC contract, now officially having your first win, officially inside of the UFC. What's he looking forward to most, and what does he want to bring for 2024 in the future?
UFC 우승하시고 2승 무패 파이터에다가 그리고 지금 데뷔전도 이렇게 멋있게 승리하셨는데 2024년도 내년에는 계획이 뭔가요?
계획은 앞으로 이제 계속 시합을 뛰는 것이고요. 앞으로 뭐 2024년도에는 몇 경기가 될지 모르겠지만 바로 뛸 수 있게 계속 준비할 거고, 그리고 아까 말을 못했는데 일단 저희 팀 모두 저희 팀원분들한테 너무 감사하고 그리고 응원해 주시고 좀 저를 다시 한번 말하겠습니다. 다시 응원해 주시는 저의 지인분들, 팬분들께 너무 감사하다고 인사드리겠습니다.
He said thank you to his teammates and his gym back home. He's going to try to get back in here as soon as possible next year, and he doesn't know how many fights it's going to be, but yeah, as much as he can, he's going to fight.
The future remains bright for the undefeated prospect from South Korea. Let's hear it again for Young Sung Park, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, indeed, one for the future. I think South Korea, they're looking for another guy to get behind after some recent retirements, and I think that Johnson Park could be a guy to fill in that spot. Congratulations to him, affecting 9 outings now, a couple UFC wins as well. Now, anyone that knows the story of Chris Gutierrez, you'll understand he's been through the middle in life, but in the octagon he really does excel. His time under the UFC banner has seen him join some bantamweight greats with his striking skills. Top 5 in bantamweight history for striking accuracy and striking defense. Look out for his leg kicks. Gutierrez can kick the wheels off a train. He'll be leaning into all of those assets tonight, I am sure. Now, Laura, you have some specifics you'd like to share with us regarding Gutierrez's game.
Well, like you say, John, you cannot talk about Chris Gutierrez without talking about his kicking game. And that last fight against Alatong Haley was a masterclass in the calf kick. I mean, look at that. Alatong Haley's calf had another calf on it. Watch how he sets this up, though. There's a very subtle stance switch there. Not a lot of people kick to the inside. He thinks it's going to be a head kick or a body kick, but no. Chris continues to batter that lead leg of Alatong Lee. And not only does he do damage with it, he uses it to set up his punches. And one of his best punches is his jab. I mean, it is long, it is laser, and it is focused. So let's talk about the highlight. We all know Chris Ford, the knockout of Frankie Edgar. This knee knockout was as clean as it gets, but it was the way that he set it up previously. Now, from orthodox, he shows the knee. From southpaw, he shows the uppercut. Southpaw, he shows the uppercut again. But this time, southpaw, he goes right to the knee. He had been baiting Frankie Edgar into the knee the entire fight. It was a thing of beauty.
Later tonight on ESPN Plus, 26-year-old Chinese sensation Song Yudong brings serious knockout power to the cage against the man we just been talking about, the high-level striker Chris Gutierrez, plus Anthony Smith, Khalil Roundtree in the co-main card is right here on ESPN Plus. We have one final preview left to come, and with more on the matchup, here's Heidi.
Thank you very much, John. With 9 wins by knockout and 8 by submission, China's Song Kenan is prepared for whatever comes his way. He's a finisher seeking his 13th first-round finish when he takes on City Kickboxing's Kevin Air Jusei. After impressing with a first-round submission of his own against fellow UFC debutant Kiefer Crosby at UFC 293 in Sydney this past September, the 30-year-old Frenchman plans to keep his 4-fight win streak rolling, this time stateside. We'll be back with a war at welterweight next on ESPN Plus.
Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live.
Tonight we are live for the fight capital of the world, the entertainment capital too, the Las Vegas Strip, with an absolutely magnificent year round, and the city will continue to host fighters and celebs for the next 7 days as the UFC continues to deliver big fights. You are watching the UFC Fight Night prelims live from the Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. And coming up in our next fight, Dana has been raving about this, and if you don't know now, you know series. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this one in the welterweight division. Underrated by some, China's Song Kenan has proven to be one of the toughest outs in the welterweight division, making it imperative for Kevin Jusei comes to the octagon ready for a 15-minute scrap. With his fans from down under making the trip from New Zealand to Australia in September, Kevin Jusei delivered the goods in his UFC debut, submitting Kiefer Crosby in the first round. Tonight, Francis Jusei attempts to extend his current winning streak to 5 when he beats a veteran welterweight test in Song Kenan. A resilient force with grit and fight-ending power, Kenan has knocked out up-and-comers like Bobby Nash, Hector Aldana and Callum Potter before. And following a 3-round win over Rolando Bedoya in August, he's aiming to end 2023 in victorious fashion. Coming up next, the assassin Song Kenan meets Kevin Air Jusei. So here walks Kevin Air Jusei. It's his second appearance for the UFC, his 5th fight in a year, almost to the day, Laura. Back in September in Sydney, you were on the call. He had his first professional submission victory in his debut. But the moment that he's actually seen in his mind, he kind of expected it. Very confident 30-year-old man from France, trains at City Kickboxing. I mean, the ceiling is high for him.
The ceiling is very high for him, and I think, you know, that lack of extreme emotion is because he said he knew it was going to happen like that. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that he has been competing his entire life as a judoka. So that the rush of adrenaline of having a big UFC debut instantly was maybe a little bit less for him. He had been envisioning it going well, and man, did it ever go well. He had a phenomenal fight against Kiefer Crosby. Actually got his first submission in that fight, but his game has grown tremendously since joining the City Kickboxing team, and when you watch him strike, you see a lot of the hallmarks of that team, the feints, the fakes. He's got a very sophisticated way that he approaches it on the feet wall.
Yeah, and you also see just that these guys know how to stand and trade, right? And the guys from City Kickboxing, their striking is unbelievable, and just also their durability and their toughness is always fully on display. And this guy just presents all of that. Tough, strong, durable, and now it's showing he's getting that first submission, always working and showing a well-roundedness to his game.
And here is the assassin, Song Kernan. It is his third fight of the year, and he comes in after securing a victory after a sort of plus 3 year drought, Paul. But I was looking at some interviews he was doing back in China, and he said this consistent schedule is really helping, not just with his conditioning, but his mindset. He's got a lot more confidence at the moment. Big win against Bedoya. I'm excited to see what he brings here, because Jusei started a little cold, and you cannot do that against Song Kernan. If he buzzes you, you could be falling over.
Yeah, 100%. Very big, strong guy for this weight class. I was actually in the elevator. He was up early this morning. I was getting in the elevator. He was going downstairs or something. Obviously, we couldn't have much of a conversation without a translator, but I was just like, damn. He's a big, strong welterweight. There's no doubt about that. And he hits like that. And he showed an ability to overcome some odds in that last fight against Bedoya, who's a very herky-jerky, very strange guy to deal with. But what he did was he found the mark enough times with enough power to slow that fight down to his pace and get the victory. And that is something he can do tonight. You cannot let Song Kernan land powerful shots, especially that right hand.
Yeah.
He will knock the snot right out of your nose.
Absolutely, a very powerful right hand, and he does a good job of staying on the outside and sort of flowing between leading and countering. He's good at doing both, and he's got great kicks to all three targets. And when you allow him to stay on the outside and play that game like Rolando Bedoya did, he's in his element. And you know, even the fight with Ian Gary, he was off to a tremendous start against a guy like Ian Gary. I knocked him down even. So this is a guy with a very, very high-level skill set, and I'm fascinated to see how these two strikers are gonna collide here tonight, John.
Excited to see him here at the Apex. Always brings the fight, Song Kernan. Take a look at the tape of this welterweight fixture then. France's Jusei 30, China's Song is 33. The Frenchman is 2 inches taller, and his frame will give him a 3.5 inch reach advantage. To introduce the fighters, here's Joe.
And all fight fans, here we go with the next fight tonight. 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. His background, judo and kickboxing. At 6 feet 2 inches tall, he weighed an officially 170.5 pounds. In 11 fights, his record stands at 9 victories with 2 defeats. Fighting out of Auckland, New Zealand by way of Bordeaux, France. Here is Kevin Jusei! And across the octagon stands his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. A striker standing 6 feet even. He too weighed an officially 170.5 pounds, and in 27 fights, holds a record of 20 victories with 7 defeats. Fighting out of Beijing, China, he is the assassin, Song Kernan! And the referee in charge of the action is Mark Smith.
Mark Smith, the octagon referee for this one. Thank you very much, Reg. Welterweight action. Song Kernan with his new Bang Tao corner for this one. It's Kevin Jusei repping City Kickboxing. Worth noting that when Kernan got to the UFC, he set the record for the fastest KO by any Chinese fighter. He's looking for that one-punch knockout tonight as well. It was like 15 seconds, so that's earth-shattering power. Jusei, background in judo, very much picked up the striking, of course, at steady kickboxing. Adesanya Danhooker is a noted sparring partner of the Frenchman. He earned his stripes on the Australian MMA scene. He was the only hex double champion across a couple of weight classes. Adesanya held the middleweight title. So that's the kind of caliber we're looking at.
You can for sure see that same kickboxing style. You're talking about that rear feint.
Lord, you man.
The way they use the hand, the position, pump the jab out.
You can overfake, can't you, Paul? But those guys have a really nice, honest.
They'll also pump fake you quite a bit, and then come with the hands, use the jab, just get you in a confused state when you're in there with those guys.
Jusei's family were in attendance in Sydney for his debut win against Kiefer Crosby, the very tough Irishman. Said it's because French MMA is still kind of developing. Didn't really know what he did for a living almost. It was great to have him there so that he could celebrate the share.
What an introduction.
Yeah, absolutely. Great event.
I was there. Jusei doing a really nice job of getting some damage landed here with the kicks, like you said, Paul. Very heavy with the feint there, but that's why it's so effective, because he feinted it, and then threw it, and Song Kanon didn't see that one coming.
Jusei said he's looking to prove people wrong tonight. You're not supposed to beat a guy with 8 UFC appearances in Song Kanon. It would be a really good scout for him. He did call out Ian Machado Gary after his debut. This would put him closer to matching up against the Irishman.
I believe Song Kanon fought Izzy as well back in the day, so a familiarity there. Yeah.
Yes, he did. It was the only time he'd actually been stopped before the UFC.
Song just getting caught looking a little bit here, and that's allowing Jusei to really just start to tap at that front leg, really damage it inside, outside. He's fighting right at the range he wants to fight at.
He has an excellent jab, Song does, and I mean, if he can continue to pump that out there and use that to set up the right hand, because the right hand is really his biggest weapon, his strongest weapon, but right now the feints and the fakes that you say, like you say, Paul, are causing him to be, caught staring just a little bit.
You said about the stature of Song Kanon, Paul. I mean, you say he's a specimen. He's a big boy.
Yeah, both these guys. Jusei a little longer and taller for the division. Ooh, these guys getting into it here.
Yeah.
Mixing it up in close.
That's a nice calf kick by Song.
Yeah, when he's landing, they're not slapping at all. They're thudding. He's not throwing as many as you say. They are hard. There's another one. Little off balance on that one.
Bedoya used those low kicks as well in their contest. But the way that Song cutting that up into the meats as well, that's a horrible weapon that he's using. Oh, that's a big right hand. Answer back by Jusei.
Oh, good right hand there from Jusei. You see some reddening on the face of Song.
The jab of Jusei, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. He can use it moving forward or backward, and he's so, look at that. Just popping Song's head like a Pez dispenser.
And I'm being told that Song Kanon had absorbed 82 leg kicks coming into his fight, his last fight. So great plan, great strategy in his last 2 fights, excuse me. So they knew this was going to be a weapon they could utilize, and it's also opening up the boxing for Jusei now.
Last few seconds in his opening stanza. We'll be back for round 2.
Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The the exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus.
Where is it? Stop, time. QR code now and become a piece of UFC history. Limited spaces available, so secure yours quickly. That is UFC Collectibles for your official UFC memorabilia. Round number 2. Just saying the blue, Song in the red. Song looking a little bit bashed up in his corner.
Yeah, he's busted up. Really leaking from the nose. We don't know what kind of damage to the calf, but he's got to make some adjustments here in the second round and land, wouldn't you say? That's the problem. Other than a couple good calf kicks, Jusay look really sharp.
Yeah, he is.
I should cover Jusay for a piece I did for UFC Fight Pass Euro Watch. It's cool looking back at his career. Started judo when he was 4. I've been doing MMA for 7 years. Looking really good on it.
Yeah, he's
Really
just
a good student.
snapping this jab right now and using the kicks to stay right where he wants to. As the longer guy wants to fight out at this range, inside, outside. And that forces Kenan to have to close the distance. Song has to try to come in on him, and then he's aware of it.
Watch your hands. Watch your hands.
He's so effective from the outside. That jab, he's got to get past that jab. Look at the face of Song right now from this jab, which is not throwing any big powerful shots. He's sticking that jab every now and then a right hand and goes right back to the leg.
Yeah, Song's got to get past that jab, would you say, because those long weapons, allow him to keep this fight exactly where he wants it to be. He's the longer guy. He's got the kicks that are already doing a ton of damage. And as long as Song is eating those jabs, this is where the fight's going to stay. He's got to find a way to either come over the top, draw back, and then counter the jab. But right now, like I said earlier, they're just popping him right in the face.
Couple good shots there from Song, landed a body kick. But again, just right back to it. Even in close here, as you say, using dirty boxing, holding that clinch, landing knees.
Dana wasn't wrong, was he? If you don't know now, you know fights. Good Lord.
And I think we thought it would be slightly more competitive. Song's just really having trouble finding his range.
This second round, way more competitive.
Good working close there from Jusay.
Song actually has a lot of submission wins on his record, but I think there's a bit of a hesitancy to tie up with Jusay because of the judo background, so he's just going to keep this on the feet. Really limited his options.
Media reports said he wants to keep it standing. Of course, that strategy has to change at some point, if indeed he's capable of doing so.
For a guy who's so young in his career, looking so good. Jusay 9-2, looking like a pro kickboxer in there at points.
Nice exclamation point for that low kick again from Jusay.
It's so impressive to see the evolution of Jusay's striking, honestly, because when you look at how young he really is in this sport, to have this sophisticated of a striking game ready, to be using the jab, a weapon that a lot of MMA fighters don't necessarily use full advantage of the way that boxers do, just speaks to the level of training and kicking
nice head movements. Actually, of course, Jack Della Maddalena, his third pro fight. So he's been in there with really good opposition. He's always giving away experience. Of course he is tonight. 27 pro fights for Kenan.
There we go from Song. Some good shots. But he's got to crash in to do it, right? There's a good knee.
Well, he's got to string more together, Paul, to get past that jab. Put together a longer combination and to find himself in the pocket. Look to really mix things up, would you say there? Oh,
Nice right hand.
those leg kicks will slow everything down. I mean, not only does it affect the leg itself, it affects your ability to push forward and jab effectively.
Good defense there from Song, but I like that from Sewison. Mix it up.
Sure.
Put it in his head that you're going to potentially shoot a takedown. It's a good attempt. D'd up nicely there from Song. But now if he pump fakes that, he's got to respect it.
And that's just going to open up the striking even more.
Exactly. Song has got to try to get his power in the mix here.
He's got to string together more punches. I mean, he landed a nice one there, but he's got to follow it up when he has those moments where he is within range. But that leg kick is really starting to be a factor.
So I'm going to see a third round back after the break.
Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus. Live sports. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive articles and tools. Top leagues and tournaments. Best stories in sports. On ESPN Plus.
Tuesday's catch up on all the latest MMA talk with DC and RC as Daniel Cormier trades back to Silver champ Ryan Clark. Find the show on YouTube, ESPN Plus, and midnight Eastern on ESPN2. Third and final round. Typically, Coach Eugene Behrman choosing not to wear the microphone, so we don't really know what they're saying in the corner. Why give away the secrets?
Right back to smacking up that calf.
Oh! Sewison said he earned a sub in his debut. Why not get a KO to follow it up?
He's doing everything he can, son. Hanging tough, to his credit.
Very much so.
He's definitely a veteran. He's tough, great fighter. He just can't seem to find the volume like you talked about, Laura.
He's a little bit too one-shot. If he could create sort of a push-pull motion where he pushes in, allows Jose to jab, and then he pulls right back and comes back with another counter. With that, you have to have more shots in succession to be able to fight a guy who's got a jab like this, because otherwise Jose could just use basically the jab and the low kick and continue to win this fight.
All day.
3.5 inch reach advantage for Jose. If I'm understanding you correctly, Laura, that's you're saying it's got the problem of mitigating that reach.
Huge problem. Hugely problem.
Oh, nice left down.
No doubt, Song has had some good strikes that have landed effectively. But Jose eats them, and then similar to what Laura was talking about, he then comes back, bunch of calf kicks, jab, 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 and then when they clinch and Song tries to get the offense going, he's uppercutting, he's throwing knees to the body. He's showing he's pretty damn durable too. He's got him some good shots. And Song, like we talked about on the walls, a powerful guy who can absolutely put your lights out.
It's not to be considered for scoring at home, but just to give you an idea of volume, Jose has thrown 243 strikes. 144 of those have landed. It's a lot of outlets. Coming back, 60 strikes have landed in Song.
For the most part in these clinch situations, you know, Song is trying to get out of. The problem is, Song wants this fight in that gray, perfect boxing area, but Jose's not going to let it be there. Jose's going to be on the very end of his range or right in the clinch, and finding that perfect range for Song is proving very, very difficult.
Yeah, you're right. Often he is the one engaging it too. He's the one forcing it, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to be here. It's
Exactly. You know, let's work to get here. You got to capitalize on it.
I'm getting word from our statisticians that this is heading for a historic welterweight contest in terms of the leg kicks, the total amount of leg kicks landed. It's in the top 10 in welterweight history.
We still got 2 minutes. I wonder how far he is from like midway up that list, number 5.
One thing's for sure, Song Kanan's going to be pretty sore.
Oh my goodness. He's not going to know what to think about, his face or his leg. When you just go lay down for a couple of days. Eat some ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Beautiful.
He stood there too long.
Apparently, Kevin Shusay is about to drop Alan Joban out of the top 10 for significant strikes landed in the division's history if he lands another 3 or 4 welterweights in the fights.
Shusay is styling the Song. I mean, I'm so impressed with his durability.
Nice jab.
Very nice juke by Shusay there, but Song right back up.
A little too late to be trying to get this fight to the ground for Song.
Already in my head.
Nice reverse elbow.
Yeah, that was nice.
Creative as well. This game really is evolving all the time between appearances as well. Look much more comfortable in the first minutes of this contest compared to his debut.
We're hearing word that Alan is trying to get these guys to get the fight to the ground.
He wants to keep it track. He's in the building tonight. He's very, very interested.
He is actually in the corner now of one of these athletes. Just a really strong performance for Shusay.
Last 10.
I know he didn't get the finish that he would have hoped for, but he's got to be happy with this. Now got to throw it out to the end.
Good job by Kevin Shusay. Warrior instincts from Song Kanan. It does go to the judges' scorecards, however. We will get those shortly.
Well, let's take a look at some of the action from this fight. Beautiful work, predominantly by Kevin Shusay, but right there, the calf kick, that was a big storyline in this fight. The calf kick of Kevin Shusay, and then the jab of Kevin Shusay. Just finding his angles and really putting them together, frustrating Song Kanan's ability to get this fight in the distance at the range where he wanted it to be. Very, very clean performance.
Absolutely.
It's a sad night for Alan Joban. He has just been eliminated. Yeah.
And he got fired, I heard.
Oh, dear. Wow. God, that escalated quickly, didn't it? Good Lord.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Now, it turns out I just did.
We await the judge's decision, but it looks like it's going to be a clean sweep for Kevin Shusay. Let's find out. Here's judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the scorecard. All 3 judges have it 30-27. Your winner by unanimous decision, Kevin Shusay!
So, congratulations to Kevin Shusay, 2-0 in the UFC, 5-fight winning streak overall for the Frenchman. We need to get him on a Paris card next year for sure. All right, this is what's coming up. Song Yudong versus Chris Gutierrez, headline in the bantamweight division. That is coming right up. We will kick off with Jung Young Park versus Andre Muniz, of course, Anthony Smith and Khalil Roundtree Jr. are our co-main events, and I understand they are in the building.
Here's Khalil Roundtree, and man, he is on the streak of his career right now. 4 wins in a row, 3 sensational finishes. The last one, an unbelievable knockout.
And there's our boy Anthony Smith, somebody we've worked with for a long time, a guy who is not afraid to take a fight on short notice, a guy who is challenged for the title, a guy who's been there, done that, a million fights. Exciting matchup.
Keep it locked here on ESPN Plus. We are live from Las Vegas, and we got our big main card coming up. It is the final fight night. Keep it with us.
When his sights are set on a target, it becomes a matter of time. For Fury isn't about restraint. Fury is about letting go.
And that's gonna do it! Show your dog!
Unleashing a relentless barrage of bad intentions.
Oh, wow.
So that when the dust settles, the last man standing is China's 26-year-old Pete.
Pouring on the pressure! Puts him out for good!
Tonight, as the UFC returns to the fight playpen of Las Vegas, Nevada, it's a bantamweight barn burner as El Guapo arrives on the scene. And he isn't about to keep his gun holstered, for he too likes to throw caution to the wind. And let them fly. When an El Paso gunslugger collides with a Kung Fu kid, they trade in fire. First, the longtime pillar in light heavyweight is once again entering the fray. As the great Lionheart, one of the toughest, grittiest, and most feared warriors in the division, is roaring louder than ever before as he vies for a title shot. Yet this Warhorse is on a warpath of his own. Winner of 4 straight bouts, 3 coming by way of knockout. The man controlling the detonation line is ready to blow up the ranks.
I should be back on later on. 99% sure I'll be back on in like an hour or 2.
As 2 of the bantamweight division's most feared strikers meet head to head in the middle of the octagon.
Anybody else who might watch this recording, God bless you.
It's UFC Fight Night. Saul versus Gutierrez. And it starts right now.